Welcome back. So now we're going to actually use the command line and do some interesting Python-y stuff. Now it's not going to be a lot of it, and it's not too much different than what you might do in SageMaker, but it's happening on your local computer. So your computer, as long as it's turned on, will always be available, and you'll find it will be faster to process stuff, generally speaking. So how do we actually get to the command line? So if I've got a Windows button down here, you can't quite see. If I right click on it, I can open a terminal here. Voila. How are you doing? And here you can do all sorts of things, which I'm not going to go into. But first we're going to have a look at our astrosource installation and install a few packages that we might need. Okay, so you have this installation of Python on your computer, but different things you do with Python, you might want to have Python set up in a different manner. So the way that we keep them separated is by making a different virtual environment. So it's a different type of different Python thing over here, and you might have a different Python thing over here for something else. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to type in some magic spell commands, which should feel like a magic spell for those of you who have never done this before. So here we're going to create a virtual environment called astrosource and make sure it's a particular version of Python. So press enter, magic runs through the universe in your computer, and voila, there's a virtual environment there. It's asking to install stuff. Say yes. Get this lovely old school text thing going on. It'll install all the stuff, and there you go. So now it says to activate environment call use conda activate astrosource. Okay, so now we're there. We are in the astrosource environment. This means we can run around and break things. The first thing we're going to do is we have to install all the packages that we want to use. So obviously one of the main things we want to use is astrosource. So there's another magic spell. It's not so much magic. You have this thing called pip. So pip is Python something or other. It's a package manager. Pip. Python install package. I don't actually know what it stands for, surprisingly enough. So you can go pip install astrosource, and it'll install the version of astrosource that's online. Now, that's not necessarily what we want to do. We want to use the latest version, which is usually the version that I have where I have made edits and fixed bugs up, and it's like the least amount of bugs possible. So I've just pasted this in. So it's similar. It's pip install git blah blah blah. This is a website, and basically you can actually look at the code online at, I'm just getting it, at here. So it's open source. You can go and have a look. You can go and see all of the little changes that get made. That's of interest. So what it's actually saying is Python install, instead of using the version that's on this particular other server where pip usually goes and gets stuff, go to the git site and get the dev. Dev means development version rather than main. So main is the stable everyday version. Dev is the cutting edge. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get that away, just to explain what this is. So let's press enter. Okay, so it's going to go to the git. It's going to figure out what packages it needs. We might find that it hasn't installed something, and we may need to install something later. But here it is. See, all this stuff and all these lines. Whenever you see this line, it's downloading something. And see, you have here requirement already satisfied. It means the thing's already installed. And so, yeah, Yes, all well. We'll find out if that's the everything we need. So if now we've installed it, we can type in astrosource, and it should just go, where's all the files? Yes. Missing option in directory. So it's going, where is the directory I'm meant to be working with? So now that is installed. So, now what? Well, I, would you believe, have a big pile of stuff on my computer. I have a astrosource example directory. You might have a directory where you have all your astrosource stuff as well. So, make it somewhere and use it. So if we right click here, you'll get these be able to open a terminal here. This is kind of the easiest way to get into your directory for your astrosource stuff. So I'll do that in a sec, but here I have just tons of different folders. Like this thing is all from me analyzing data different ways, and this is from an exoplanet transit, and there's some other stars and things we were looking at. So this one was a recent one, so maybe we'll have a look at one of these. So if I go here and open terminal, now you're not going to be able to do this until you have some data. So I may zip up some data so you can follow along with me if you don't have data yet. So we've opened this new terminal, and what we need to do whenever we do this, anaconda activate astrosource. That'll plop us into the astrosource environment, and we can go astrosource, and it goes that, and then if it does that, then you're ready to go. Okay, here's a command I have prepared earlier. It was just in my history. One of the wonderful things about the terminal, you can press up and down with your arrow keys and get previous commands, so I don't even have to remember anything. We'll go into more detail about where to get all this stuff later on. But this is similar to what you might have done in SageMaker if you've tried that approach already. It's just kind of a different way. In SageMaker, you write it in a Python-y way, and things are in inverted commas or quotes. But this is just the same, except with a command line, you have this dash dash option, and then your thingy dash dash option. So here we have the in directory. That's the directory where all the files are. So that's this directory down here, v1345i. And then you have the RA in degrees, dash dash deck in degrees. I want to look for the period. I want it calibrated. The types of files, the PSX. These three commands here output a lot of information to the terminal. If you don't have them, everything's a bit hidden and you don't know what's going on. But if you have all of these things, if something goes wrong, you know exactly what's going on. Another one that's not here is the limits for the period. So I know this is an RR Lyrae, so I'm going to set the limits. So between 0.1 of a day and 0.9 of a day. Then you press enter. There we go. Off we go. I'll make this big. Whoa! And so you can see it's outputting a lot of stuff, which I explain elsewhere. And there we go. Off it rolls. Now conveniently, I hit a little bug here, and what needs to happen if this happens is you find the code for the bug here and copy that into an email along with what data you're using and your command, so I can reproduce it, so I can fix it. This one here is just a plotting bug, so there's nothing too much to worry about. But whenever it says traceback or something fishy has gone wrong or error, please let me know so I can chase them. This one is just about plotting one of these bars, so it's not a big deal. But these things turn up from time to time. So you can see it's got to the end, and here you are with your resulting files. So if you haven't used astrosource before, what is going on, which we'll go detail later, is in the directory you have all of these PSX files, and these PSX files will be the ones that are in the example file. So you get these files, you unzip these to a folder, maybe name this, and then you run that command like I showed you from the directory up from the folder. Okay, and when you run it, it will output all of this lovely stuff. We're not going to look exactly at what's going on. I bet you've got some calibration plots, and you have some purity things. Look at that! What a lovely data curve that is. So yeah, so it outputs there. So that's if you run that with the sample data and it's done something like that, then you're ready to roll.